I got a text from my husband's number, but he died 2 years ago. The moment that message appeared on my phone screen, my hands froze. The room suddenly felt colder, and for a second I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. The name that flashed on my screen, David Red, was something I had deleted from my contacts long ago, or at least I thought I had. The message said only one line: "Emily, please don't sell the house." My heart started pounding so fast I could hear it echoing in my ears. That house, the one where David and I had lived together for 7 years, was the very place where he took his last breath. 2 years ago he died in a car crash on his way back from work. I had identified his body myself. I had buried him. I had cried until my voice disappeared. And yet, here I was, reading a message from his number. I wanted to believe it was a scam, maybe someone hacked the number. But deep inside, a strange part of me, maybe the part that still missed him every night, wanted to believe it was really him. I texted back with trembling hands, "Who is this?" No reply. I waited, staring at the phone screen until it dimmed. The rain outside hit the window softly like whispers. My dog, Max, lifted his head and looked toward the front door, growling lowly. I felt a chill down my spine. That night I couldn't sleep. Every creak in the house made me flinch. I kept replaying our last conversation, the fight we had that morning before he died. He had wanted to talk about selling the house. I had told him I couldn't live anywhere else. The next morning I went to the phone store, asking if it was possible someone reused David's old number. The guy checked the system and shook his head. "No ma'am, this number, been inactive since 2 years ago. It was never reassigned." My heart dropped. That night I got another message. "I saw you crying last night. Please stop crying, Em." The phone slipped from my hands. My husband used to call me Em, no one else did. I called the number right away. It rang twice, then went silent. Then a faint sound came from upstairs. My old phone, the one David used to own, was ringing from our bedroom drawer. But that phone had been dead for 2 years. And it was ringing. I stood frozen at the bottom of the stairs, my heart pounding like a drum inside my chest. The sound was faint but clear. David's old phone was ringing upstairs, in the drawer where I had kept it since the day after his funeral. Each step I took toward that sound felt heavier, like the air itself didn't want me to go. When I reached the bedroom, the ringing stopped. The silence that followed was worse than the sound itself. It felt alive, waiting. I opened the drawer. The phone was lying exactly where I left it. Old, black, cracked screen, battery dead. I had turned it off and never charged it again. But right now the screen was glowing. My fingers trembled as I picked it up. A notification blinked on the screen. One new message from David Red. I unlocked it. The message said, "Why did you pack my clothes away, Em?" For a few seconds I couldn't move. I stared at those words, feeling tears blur my vision. I had packed his clothes away just last week, finally trying to move on. I hadn't told anyone, no one knew. I whispered, "Who are you?" even though I knew there was no one to answer. Then I did something I never thought I would. I typed back, "David, if this is you, prove it." Nothing, no reply. The glow faded from the phone screen. I waited for hours, sitting on the floor beside the drawer, staring at the phone. By midnight, I must have fallen asleep because the next thing I remember was waking up to Max barking like crazy. He was standing at the bedroom door, his fur raised, staring into the hallway. "Max, stop," I whispered, but he didn't listen. His bark turned into a growl. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. That's when I saw it, muddy footprints on the wooden floor, leading from the hallway toward the stairs. I froze. There was no rain outside, no open doors, no reason for muddy footprints. I followed them slowly, one shaky step after another, down the stairs, across the living room, until they stopped right in front of the old photo of our wedding day. The glass frame had fallen, shattered into pieces, and there was a small piece of paper lying beneath it. It was one of David's old notes, his handwriting. It said, "Don't let them take the house." My knees gave out. I sat there on the floor, clutching that piece of paper to my chest. Tears came again, fast and uncontrollable. The next morning I called my best friend, Samantha, and told her everything. "Emily, listen," she said in a serious tone. "This could be someone playing a horrible prank. Maybe someone got access to his phone somehow." But Sam, his phone isn't even connected. It's been off for 2 years. There was a long silence. Then she said quietly, I'm coming over tonight. That evening she brought her brother Ryan, who worked in it. He checked both my phone and David. His face turned pale after a few minutes. Emily, this phone isn't connected to any network. No SIM card, no Wi-Fi. But somehow these texts are being sent and received. Samantha looked at me terrified. You mean? Ryan nodded slowly. Yeah, it's impossible, but it's happening. Before leaving, he said one more thing. If you get another text, don't reply. But that night I did. Because the next message I got broke me completely. They lied to you. I wasn't alone that night. I could barely breathe. My hands shook so hard I dropped the phone. What do you mean you weren't alone? I whispered to the empty room. But I already knew what that message meant. That accident, the police had told me it was a one-car crash. They said David lost control and hit the guardrail. But what if that wasn't true? What if someone else had been there with him? My mind spun with questions I didn't want the answers to. I picked up the phone again and texted back before I could stop myself. Who was with you, David? The reply came instantly. You know her. My heart dropped. There was only one her who made sense. Lena, David's business partner, the woman I had never trusted. She had been at our house the day before the accident, discussing real estate matters with him. I remembered her perfume, sweet, strong, expensive. I remembered her smile when I served them coffee, and the way she touched his arm while laughing. I didn't say anything back then, but now everything connected. I rushed to the living room and opened the folder of David's old documents, his insurance papers, business files, and there, Lena's name on the last page of a signed property transfer draft. I gasped. He was planning to sell the house to her. And now his messages said, don't sell the house. It felt like David was trying to warn me. But warn me from what? The phone buzzed again. She's watching you. I turned toward the window. Across the street, under the faint glow of the streetlight, stood a woman in a long coat, looking straight at my house. It was Lena. I backed away slowly, gripping the phone so tight my knuckles turned white. The screen lit up again. Don't let her in. The glow from the phone screen painted my face pale blue in the dark living room. I could still see her, Lena, standing motionless across the street under the streetlight. Rain began to fall lightly, blurring her shape through the glass, but I knew it was her, that same coat, that same stillness. My phone buzzed again. Promise me, don't open the door. I whispered, David, what's happening? But there was no reply. Then came a knock. Slow, deliberate, 3 sharp knocks that echoed through the whole house. I froze, clutching the phone in one hand, Max growling beside me. Emily, a woman's voice called out. It's me, Lena, are you home? Her voice was calm, too calm. I didn't move, didn't breathe. Emily, I know you've been upset, she continued. I just want to talk about the house. I stepped back away from the door. Every instinct screamed not to open it. David's text repeated in my mind, don't let her in. I didn't answer. After a moment I heard footsteps walking away, then the sound of a car starting, fading into the distance. When I finally dared to move, I checked the curtains. She was gone. That night I sat at the kitchen table, the lights off, staring at David's old phone. I whispered, what are you trying to tell me? At exactly midnight, another message came. Check the drawer behind the photo. I felt a strange calm settle over me, the kind that only comes when fear becomes too heavy to feel anymore. I walked to our bedroom, to the same drawer where the phone had first rung. Behind the photo frame of our wedding picture, there was a small envelope taped to the wood. My hands shook as I tore it open. Inside were 2 things, a flash drive and a folded note in David's handwriting. The note said, if something happens to me, show this to the police. Don't trust Lena. My breath caught in my throat. I grabbed my laptop and plugged in the flash drive. There were 2 files. The first was a video dated 2 days before his accident. In the video, David sat in his office, looking nervous. Emily, he said to the camera, voice low, trembling, If you're watching this, something went wrong. Lena been forcing me to sign over the house and the business. She's involved with some dangerous people. I didn't want to tell you because I thought I could fix it, but if she finds out I'm backing out, please protect yourself." The video ended abruptly. My heart pounded so hard I could barely breathe. I played the second file. It was an audio recording. It was David's voice again, arguing with someone. "Lena," I said, "no, I won't do this anymore." Then a woman's voice, cold, sharp, answered, "You don't get to walk away from me, David. You owe me everything." There was a crash, tires screeching, then silence. It wasn't an accident. She was with him. Tears streamed down my face. I called Samantha, my voice shaking. "Sam, I have proof. She killed him, she." But before I could finish, the lights in my house flickered and went out. Complete darkness. Then a faint sound, footsteps on the porch. I froze. Max barked furiously, scratching at the door. I whispered, "Please, David, help me." The phone buzzed. "Go to the basement, now." I ran, down the stairs, through the dark hall, into the basement where we used to store Christmas boxes. My hands fumbled for the old lantern. As soon as I turned it on, my phone vibrated again. "Call 911. I did. My voice shook as I whispered to the operator, "Someone's trying to break into my house. Please hurry." While waiting, I crouched in the corner, clutching David's phone, tears running down my face. Every second felt like forever. Then footsteps above me, slow, deliberate. Someone was inside. "Emily," it was Lena's voice again, calling from upstairs. "You shouldn't have looked at that drive." My blood ran cold. She was inside my house. "Just give me the flash drive and no one gets hurt," she said, her tone suddenly sharp, echoing down the stairs. I stayed silent. "Emily," she shouted, "you don't understand what you've done." Then came sirens in the distance. Lena cursed under her breath and ran. I heard the door slam. The police arrived moments later. When I showed them the flash drive and David's note, everything changed. Within a week, Lena was arrested. The police confirmed the recordings were real. She had been forcing David into illegal property deals. When he tried to back out, she confronted him on the road and caused the crash that killed him. But the strangest thing, they also found out something about the messages. David's old phone had been completely disconnected. No SIM, no Wi-Fi, no data. The tech specialist said it was impossible for it to send or receive anything. Yet the messages existed. Each timestamp matched the exact moment something important happened, before I found the note, before Lena came to my door, before the police arrived. No one could explain it. When I asked the detective if maybe someone hacked it, he shook his head. "Ma'am, that device isn't capable of connecting to anything. Whatever those messages were, they didn't come from a network." He didn't say what he was thinking, but I knew. That night after Lena's arrest, I sat in my bedroom holding David's phone. I whispered, "It's over, David, she can't hurt us anymore." For a long time there was only silence. Then, just as I was about to put the phone away for good, the screen lit up one last time. "Thank you, Em, I can rest now." And then the screen went dark forever. I never received another message after that. The house feels lighter now, the air isn't heavy anymore. Sometimes, late at night, I still talk to him, just softly, like he's still beside me. Maybe he can hear, maybe he's somewhere peaceful. But I'll never forget how it all began. With a text from my husband's number. 2 years after he died. Subscribe to Letters from Pain. For more true life stories that stay with your heart long after the screen fades to black.